It's really kind of a terrifying thought. And of all the things that can go wrong on a plane, you would think this would be about the last thing that could go wrong, especially if you're on that plane and then you have no idea what's going on in the cockpit.
As if we don't have enough things to already be afraid of when you get on a flight, like you said. I don't typically get scared when I get on flights, but I do sometimes think about all of the things that could go wrong. And one of them being, for me, has always been like, what if the pilot just not on his game today? Or what if he's having a bad day?
You're not allowed.
You're not allowed to do that.
You're a basketball player, you have a bad day, okay, you score 2 points. They rip on you on ESPN. Bad day in a plane, not good for anybody.
Not the same. And so this pilot was actually off duty, but he was on the flight, and he is now currently being charged with 83 counts of attempted murder for trying to shut off the engine mid-flight. So as the story goes, this pilot is on his flight, and for those who may not know, there is a jump seat in the cockpit, which pilots or off-duty, like airline employees will sit with the pilots when the flight is oversold.
So it's like not the two main seats up there. There's usually one other one up there. It doesn't look like a very comfortable seat, but it's a seat nonetheless.
Right.
Right? And we've seen flight attendants have a similar seat outside of the cockpit. And a co-pilot can be in a third seat, right?
Right. So they're not flying the plane. They're off duty. They're traveling somewhere. But I guess this guy, for whatever reason, wanted to shut the engine off mid-flight. And the actual pilots that were on duty had to stop him from doing it because obviously it could have been bad. And here's the audio from the live ATC.net of the pilot talking to the air traffic controls after the incident.
We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit. He doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's the dude. We want law enforcement as soon as we get on the ground and park.
He was on shrooms.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he was on shrooms.
That'll do it. I didn't even read that part in the article.
Yeah. It's come out that he had taken shrooms.
Psilocybin?
And just had a panic moment and went to go turn off the engines or whatever, and then they subdued him. And he was off-duty pilot, but was flying with them to go to San Francisco or somewhere because then he was going to actually actively fly a plane.
Yep.
Like he was going to his next destination to fly a plane.
It was San Francisco. They had to divert the plane to Portland so that he could be arrested because he was, like you said, on his way to actually fly a plane.
Yeah, but they said he admits to taking shrooms.
That's so scary. Now, nobody in the plane knew what was going on? Like, was it going up and down and all over the place? And no one knew.
From what I read, no one was none the wiser because there's a allotted amount of time that you can fix an engine being shut off. So thankfully, the pilots knew what they were doing, obviously, and were able to fix it before it got bad. But yeah, they had to jump in there and actually turn the engine back on mid-flight.
Yeah,
I mean, imagine having somebody in the cockpit going crazy like a spider monkey, and you're the pilot in there trying to keep the plane like in the air.
You're in there wrestling with them.
They must have been just as shocked up there, right?
Yeah.
I think there's like a misconception that when an engine or two engines even go out on a plane that it goes straight down.
Right.
It doesn't. It just kind of like glides in, and it gives the pilots plenty of time to try to find a runway if it happens. So in that time where it's gliding down is probably where they subdued this dude and brought the plane to safety. That's crazy though, man.
Yeah, everybody ended up being safe, thank God, and he has now been arrested. But I mean, just the thought of that, like there's not enough to already worry about.
And what do you, when do you as a passenger find this out? Like as you're leaving the plane, the flight attendants are like, hey, funny story.
Because they got diverted, so they're not going to so they have to have a reason.
You got to say something.
You got to say something.
What do you say? I highly doubt they said they were in here wrestling with a pilot who's trying to kill y'all.
Oh, hell no. They read about it on the Shade Room the same time you read about it on the Shade Room.
Yeah.
But they have to arrest him, right? So I'm sure they have, because that happens when you have people that cause disruption on a plane. Cops are waiting for you as soon as you get off the plane to take you in. So cops had to have been there as soon as they landed to handcuff this dude and take him in.
So you got to think, you're getting off that flight and seeing somebody that's a pilot. I'm sure he's probably in uniform, getting arrested, and now you've been diverted because of that, and you have to get on another flight right after that to go where you were originally going. Yeah, that might mess your day up a little bit.
So I'm guessing this whole program probably now of being able to be a pilot that's off duty and in a cockpit, I'm guessing that now is over.
That's a good point. They might have to reevaluate that, which is bad news for people who fly standby, but yeah.
Right.
There's no way. That's such a huge perk of any employee in any airline can kind of do that sort of thing. Like that would be a massive job setback.
I mean, it could be just one dude that's going to ruin it for the entire. I mean, what do you really need that dude in there for anyway? Just the extra perk is, hey, if you're going to be a pilot on our airline, you get to fly wherever you want.
He was off duty. He needed to get to San Francisco to his flight, and so they just let him ride in the car.
How about give him a discount and put him in Comfort Plus?
Yeah, you could, but maybe it was a sold out flight. They didn't have any
It
room,
was
so they're like,
oversold.
"Hey, you can you can sit in the jump seat," and they let him sit in the jump seat. So he wasn't there. He wasn't working. He was off duty trying to get to his next flight. And the dude had taken shrooms, and that's why he tried to turn off the engine.
Bad timing to take shrooms.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There are some jobs you should just stay away from shrooms.
That's one of them.
If you're working a toll booth, that's fine. Do whatever you want.
I will never judge you.
All you got to do is do some math. That's it, right?
Should we come up with a list of jobs where, you know what, if you're on shrooms, it's all good. You know, I'm sure there's other jobs that if you're on shrooms, it's all good,
I
man.
got to be honest with you. I think we have one of those jobs because if we're not having fun, then we literally can get in trouble from our bosses by not having enough fun.
Correct.
So if we're not having fun, the boss could come in here and give us shrooms and go, "Hey, lighten it up, guys."
Yeah.
Mascots, us, and couples.
And mascots. That's another great one. Act as goofy as you want. Yeah. Clowns.
Yes.
Every clown should be on shrooms.
I don't know if I want to clown at my kid's birthday party on shrooms. That's a hard no. Turn ugly.
All right, maybe we went too far.
The Bert Show.